Thanks, man.
Everyone, Chris WARUNKI,
Hello, guys.
the Viking himself, is
I'm
back.
I've returned.
We have a ton of new members here as well, so a lot of them might not have seen you. So everybody welcome Chris, and welcome to all the new members here.
Welcome.
I like that song you just played.
Yeah.
Because you're using a lot of hand and foot combos, which is obviously what we're talking about today, but it wasn't in metal or progressive rock. And, you know, so many drummers think that that kind of stuff, like the Mike Portnoy fills, whatever, needs to be played in heavy metal. And
yeah, I think it's because they're usually fast and flashy. You know, sometimes there's a lot going on, but I mean, combo fills, combo just means combination. So all you're doing is combinations with your hands and then with your feet. So you can use them for anything.
Yeah.
And they're really great for coordination as well, which you'll see in the first example, actually.
Cool. Well, let's just get right on into it. You guys have questions throughout the lesson, you know what to do. Just get them submitted below, and we'll get to them at the end of the lesson. So, Chris? That's
for you, Dave.
That is for me. All right.
Yeah, so we're going to build it up here. We're going to just start at square one. Our combo, you might see there's a ratio, and that's the combo number. The first number is hands, and the second number is feet. So all we're doing now is 1-1. But since this is a double kick combo lesson, we're actually going to use both feet. Okay, but to make it a bit more interesting, instead of going right hand, right foot, we're going to go right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot. And this is just singles going back and forth, moving it around the drum kit. All right, so we're going to do this at 90 BPM. Thanks, sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah. So as you can see there, you're crisscrossing limbs. You're going right hand, left foot, left hand, right foot.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit more interesting, and it's a great coordination exercise. You can use it as a fill, but you know, it's a good one to practice and try to get it a little bit quicker.
So more of like just a development of that independence.
Yeah, this is kind of developing your coordination, because you know, we're going to need some of that for combo fills and linear playing too, which is always fantastic.
Do you want to just play it a little bit slower and then kind of speed it up and take the
yeah, sure, I'll speed it up a bit. I mean, I've seen guys like Virgil Donati just destroy this fill.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And it's crazy just watching it, you know. But, you know, you don't have to play it super fast. Start really slow. Just get the coordination and, you know, ramp it up with a metronome. We're at 90 BPM, and you can just go up from there. I'd recommend like 4 or 5 BPM at a time. So here it is a bit slower. Sped it up a little bit for you guys there. So as you can see, it's kind of like a walking motion with your legs, but you really have to coordinate it with your hands.
Totally.
Just to get the timing right, you know, because this is a fill and an exercise. It's easy to have it fall apart.
You think about it too, you can play singles really fast with your both hands, but you can't do it nearly half as fast with your hand and feet, right? It's a lot harder than you think, guys. So.
That's the thing, you know, and you can work this one into fills as well. All right, we're going to move on to a 2-to-1 ratio. So basically what we're going to do is 2 notes with our hands, right, left, and we're going to do 1 kick, but the kicks are going to alternate right, left at the end of every 16th note triplet. So this one's pretty fast, and it also has that sort of walking motion happening, but this time right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay.
Here comes click.
Thanks.
1 sec.
So as you can see in here, we're doing 16th note triplets, triplet, 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 and we are alternating feet going right, left, right, left. Kind of like number one, you can do it left, right, if you want to. I mean, you can switch a lot of these around if you want to try it a different way. But for me, I think with the 16th note triplets, I prefer leading with my right foot.
Okay. Is there a reason why you would use both feet in something like this, or it's just more for the exercise?
It's more for the exercise and the concept of the lesson, you know, double pedal lesson. I mean, like, check it out. Anybody could easily play this fill going. Okay, so I was just using like single pedal.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right? Right?
Yeah.
Technically, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But we want to incorporate both feet using double pedals.
Cool. Sounds good, man.
So we're alternating with that one. Try it both ways. Try number 1 both ways as well. What I mean both ways is, I have it written starting with a certain foot. You can always reverse that. Try it a different way. Sometimes one way is going to be much easier than the other. Awesome. Okay, moving on. 2 and 2. This is the most basic combo. Everybody's heard this one before at some point. It's just 2 with the hands, 2 with the feet. Okay, it sounds like this.
Where did it go?
Uh-oh, we need a click track.
There it is.
Pretty easy. That's a good one to start with. I want to make sure to have something for everybody in this lesson, whether you're a beginner or intermediate or advanced drummer. This is a good combo fill to start with, I would say.
Show us some of this, or this one in particular. I think this is the most useful, or like I said, you said the first one that people go to in a fill context.
Yeah,
Show
exactly.
Show us some of these.
Yeah, so if you're playing this in context, you could have a groove something like this.
Love it.
All right. So yeah, that one, that was tried, tested, and true.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. One thing I find always tricky with this one was at the end when you're finishing your fills off with your bass drum, you got to play an extra bass drum to crash in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's always tough. Yeah.
Yeah, for some of these fills, you're going to have to come out of like a double into a single. So that's going to be right, left, right. So a good thing to practice actually is just doing a quick right, left, right with your feet like this. That's just a really good, simple exercise because that's going to help you out in your combos. As Dave pointed out, you're going to have to add an extra kick sometimes.
Totally.
And if you're not expecting that, it could catch you off guard. So definitely practice those groups of 3s.
Do you mind if I just hear this one the other way around, starting with your feet?
Yeah, okay, great. So yeah, you could flip it around, start with your feet. Yeah, it works.
Cool. Yeah,
it works.
Cool. Sweet, man.
Okay, moving on. We're still actually in 2 and 2 ratio, so what we're going to do is triplets this time, 16th note triplets. This is a pretty quick fill. It's kind of like what we did before with single kick, but now you're going to, add your right, lefts on the double pedal in there. And yeah, 2 and 2, pretty quick. So let's hear what that sounds like with 90 BPM.
Sure.
Metronome.
If I slow that one down a bit?
Yeah, one thing I neglected to mention there is that we're actually going to go around the kit and then come back. So you probably noticed me getting to the floor tom and then coming back to the snare drum. That's just so, it's a bit more interesting melodically. And it's good to just practice moving around the kit in that way. So basically what we're going to do is, I'll slow that down for you guys. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go...
So I just want you to one more time, but do you mind if I give you click at like 60? Because with the triplet feel, you want to hear it to the click, because I was kind of hearing 16ths a little bit there too. So if I were to give you 60, is that cool?
Yeah, let's try that.
Give it a shot. Here we go.
Try that again.
Sure.
It's got to get the triplet in my head. That's slow tempo.
I can even go to 120 if you wanted to half it. That might be a little bit simpler.
Sure, let's try that. Yeah.
There we go.
It's a lot of space in 60 BPM.
Yeah.
Kind of turned into 16ths there a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tough one because you're used to, with the 2 and the 2, you're used to playing it in 4, right? Because it just makes so much more sense.
That's the thing, yeah, because you're kind of dividing the triplet in a bit of, weird way. You're going 2 snares and then 2 kicks, but that equals 4. We're dealing with 6 notes here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is a bit of a tricky one. I'll be practicing that one myself.
Totally. So a question for you that I have is, when you go, like, say you've never practiced these before, or you've always wanted to, you just don't know where to start, do you start exactly where we were going here, or do you maybe just stick it with the snare, or do you take a metronome and put a metronome on right away? Like, what are your suggestions for that?
Definitely play these all with a metronome. Like any combo fill, like you have to be really precise, and the metronome's going to really help you with that. Basically, just start with your ratio, like figure out how many hands versus how many feet, and practice just kick and snare. Like, all of these can just be simplified to kick and snare combos. You don't have to play them around the kit. Sometimes that makes it a bit more difficult when you're trying to move around the kit in a certain way. You really have to get familiar with the patterns first of all. And the best way to do that is just hands and feet. Snare drum, kick drum. Keep it simple. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's a good way to start.
Cool. All right, let's move on.
So that's what it all comes down to: hands and feet.
That's right. You can get some. What I like the most about hand and foot combos is you can fake your way sometimes around speed. If you want to play 200 beats per minute, but you can't go around the drums, you can alleviate some of that stress, compensate, exactly.
Yeah, combo fills are great. They'll make you sound faster.
Yeah.
They'll make you sound better.
There you go.
Not necessarily just faster. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Sometimes you might not have the fastest hands or the fastest feet, but if you get them to work together, you're going to get some really impressive results.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Moving on. This is getting a bit more interesting now. We got groups of 3s and 2s. So we're going to do 3 with the hands, 2 with the feet. We're going to keep it to 16th note. So the phrasing's kind of interesting on this one, and you have a 16th note left over at the end for your snare drum. So let's try this at 90 BPM.
Okay, here we go.
This one's a weird one to loop. I'm not used to looping this one.
Because it doesn't end on the bar.
Let's do that one more time. So watch out for that snare drum at the end of the bar coming back. So you're actually going to do 4 when you loop it.
Would it be easier if you would have just played in a beat and then 1 bar of a fill and then back to
Yeah, because I mean, typically when I use this fill, I use it for 1 bar and then I'm out.
Totally,
right?
Yeah.
But if you're looping it, you got to watch out for that snare drum at the end of the bar. Okay, because now it's going from groups of 3 to 4. Okay, so but yeah, I'm going to play it for 1 bar, show you what it sounds like in context. So it's a cool fill because the phrasing is a little bit more interesting, It's kind of almost like shifting over in a strange way because you're breaking it up into really 3s and 2s, so it's 5s, it's groups of 5s. I kind of see it as groups of 5s anyways because you got 3 with the hands, 2 with the feet. So yeah, but if you're going to loop this one, add that extra snare. So let's see what that would be like. So that'd be like. fun fill. You know, it's nice to experiment with some odd numbers here and there. Because a lot of the times, you know, you hear combo fills and drummers playing combos, it's always like 2s and 4s, right? So it's kind of nice to break it up a little bit and get creative with it. Speaking of 3s and getting creative with it, we're going to do groups of 3s on the snare and the kick drum. So it's just going to go 3 on top, 3 on the bottom, and then you're coming out with an extra kick. So basically, it's kind of like what we did before, that extra snare, but now there's an extra kick. The thing is, you have to like phrase it so it's like 16th notes basically. So it's like, so it's like. So yeah, so this one's pretty unique. You know, you don't hear this one too often, but no, I was coming up with some of these combos, and I thought I'd get creative with like the groups of 3s here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you start playing, fills and you're going off of your own, you know, what you feel like you want to play, you need to have the ability to play a 3 and a 3 or 3 and a 2 or a 1 and a 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Combinations. Yeah. So let's try that one with a groove.
Sure. Yeah, love that one.
Yeah. Nice little fill.
Cool, man. Move on to 4 and 2.
Moving on to 4s. Yeah, 4s and 2s. I mean, like, this is a pretty much inevitable combo. I think that besides the 2 and 2 combo that we did earlier, this is probably the most common. You've got 4 with your hands and 2 with your feet. And we're splitting it up with 16th notes. So it's pretty basic. Do you want to run the click track for me?
Yeah.
Go through this one.
Here we go.
So as you can see, it ends with just the 4 16th notes on the floor tom. You can do a lot of different things with this one. You can split up your hands. You know, you can move around the kit in a different way. It's a pretty basic combination. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like a little bit faster.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's a really fun fill. It's simple, it's very effective and very useful. And yeah, it's fun to sort of, you know, play that one slow and then gradually speed it up and see where you can take it to. Eventually, you know, turn it into 30-second notes. Actually, I think we're gonna do that a bit later on with a similar fill. So I'll save that for the end. But we're gonna get into now flipping, or no, we're gonna get into triplets with 4 and 2. This is another really common fill that's, very useful. Probably if you listen to Dream Theater and Mike Portnoy, he's doing this fill all the time, right? I mean, it's one of his
tricks.
Yeah, one of his main licks, main tricks. So basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start on the snare drum and move it around the kit. When you come out of this one, like we were saying before, add that extra kick for the 1. So it's gonna sound like. So there's that downbeat on the 1. You just have to do that fast right, left, right, and you'll land on it. Okay, so let's, you wanna run the click for this one? See what it sounds like at 90?
Sure, here's 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now I'll play it with a groove, and I'll show you what I mean by adding that extra kick on the 1. Really fun fill, probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. John McCon was saying I use this fill quite often or a lot, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys use these fills in your playing because, they're so much fun, they're so practical, and they're useful,
And don't forget, with every one of these, reverse them. Start with your feet. You can do
Yeah,
that with
good,
all of them.
yeah, good point. So like that would, instead of starting with your hands, I would go. Yeah. Totally. Awesome. Okay, so we're moving on to 2 and 4. So instead of 4 and 2, we're doing 2 and 4. So you're actually playing more kicks than hands here, more feet than hands. And we're just going to keep this one on the snare drum. You can move it around. We'll try to move it around a little bit later. I'm just going to show you what this one. Oh, and we're still in triplets. So it's like triplet, 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 triplet. Okay, let's try it.
Here comes click.
So basically you're breaking it up with 2 and 4 equals 6. So there's your triplet, Yeah.
Makes sense.
And yeah, I'll try to play this one with a groove. So it's going to be like. Extra note again, so it's going to go.
Yeah, it's always a lot more tricky when you start reversing and doing the 4s with your feet. I always found those much harder than doing the 2s on the feet than the 4s on the feet. But very cool stuff, yeah.
Try to keep this one nice and even too. Then you can really get that consistent triplet feel.
One thing I just want to point out, and I had a member that emailed me once saying, I don't know what it is, but I'm adding an extra note into all my fills because at one point he heard Mike McCalco say at the end of your fill, add an extra bass drum.
Oh.
And what he meant was crashing into the next groove. So in case anybody here is wondering, he doesn't mean add an extra note to the actual fill. Just make sure you know to play that extra bass drum note crashing it.
Right, because we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being the 1 of the next bar.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So now we're into 30-second notes, it looks like.
Yeah, okay, so this is pretty fast. We're gonna start with our feet, as you can see there, and it's all just ratio of 4 and 4. So it's basically just a fast 4 and 4 moving around the kit. Let's give it a try.
Okay, here's metronome.
There you have it. Let's try it with a groove.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Do you want to just run the click again? I'll
If
just
you
play
want,
with the click.
Sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks. So I want to contrast it with some slower grooves there.
Yeah.
Just so it really pops out, you know.
Do you do anything sometimes when you're playing those with your hands, when you're playing your feet? Like
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that actually I like to add a cymbal to the first kick of the phrase. So whenever you're doing like a group of 4, basically just start it off with a cymbal so it would sound like this. Because that really punctuates it and kind of pushes it along a little bit more. Gives it a bit more clarity too, because I mean, with a lot of notes like that, it's easy to get jumbled up or, you know, lose the clarity of the phrase or of the notes that you're playing. So I kind of like to emphasize all those hits with a cymbal. You could also double it, you know, you could do something like, you know, copy what your feet are doing with your hands, like. So definitely
beast mode.
Yeah, it's beast mode. I mean, this is the kind of
there.
fill that's going to get you fired from your gigs. So be careful where you use it.
Not if you're in a metal gig, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing, you know, metal, that's a perfect fit for that particular fill.
You don't want to bust out a Dave Brubeck song or anything.
Yeah, don't take it to your jazz gig or to even your top 40 gig. This one's pretty dangerous.
So these are the from what I can see here, these are the most common, I would say, hey, out of the hand to foot combos.
Yeah, you know, other than maybe the groups of 3s, you know, the 3 and 3 is not very common. 3 and 2, you hear it once in a while, but not that often. I mean, the ones that are really common are the groups of 2s and 4s. 2-4, 4-2, stuff like that. And then the triplet feels.
Yeah, and actually 3 and 3 works great in triplets, obviously, because you're playing 6 notes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 type of deal, I guess.
Yeah, like. Yeah. For sure.
Would you ever like combine these in your own playing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do the play along at the end of the lesson, and I'll just combine a whole bunch of combo fills together. It's really fun to improvise with them. Mm-hmm. The more of these combos you know, the more you can string together or just like, you know, put together on the fly.
Totally. All right. So, anything you wanted to add before we get into questions? Any challenges, any insights that you might share from when you were practicing these struggles that you had?
Yeah, I think that, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure it was Mike Portnoy that got me into combo fills in the first place. I was a huge Dream Theater fan as a teenager. You know, who wasn't, right? I mean, same with Dave. And he almost wrote the book on combo fills. So once I figured out what he was doing, you know, it was just a matter of the coordination between your hands and your feet and mainly evening out the notes. I mean, with a lot of these combo fills, it sounds good to play them at like one even dynamic, you know. So that's part of the challenge. And like for me, when I was, you know, woodshedding every day back in the day, it was hard for me to have the consistency, and sometimes, you know, it still is, to have the consistency between your snare and your kicks so they sound nice and even, you know. So that's one thing to, you know, watch out for with combo fills. Because you don't want your snare like super cracking loud and then all of a sudden you can't hear what your kicks are doing, right? And you don't want your snare like tapping and then your kicks are just stomping away, right? You gotta have that even dynamic. Otherwise the combo fills, they don't even really sound like combo fills, right?
Sound broken.
Yeah, it's part of the evenness that really makes the fill.
Even with your left foot too. I've heard just actually the other day a member sent me a video, and one of the critiques that I had was when he was playing his double bass, the one left foot sounded so much different than the right foot. You know, the volume of it, and also you got to make sure everything's consistent.
I think that's like one of the common struggles that everybody has as a drummer, is just getting your left hand or your left foot up to par with your right. So yeah, that's definitely something to make note of when you're practicing your combo fills.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go to some questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fred has a first question. Says, hey, Chris and Dave.
Hey,
he
Fred.
says, I've been working on my double bass grooves and noticed that my left hand and left foot consistently flam. Okay, my left hand and left foot consistently flam. My left hand seems to be coming in late. Any good exercises or any tips to remedy this? Yeah,
so I would imagine that you're probably playing straight 16ths or something. And when you're, you know, trying to do your snare drum, it's flamming, or something like that. I guess it would be in the context of a groove, right? But I mean, if you're starting with your right foot, let's say you're playing like something like that. I mean, you should be lining up your snare with your right foot, not your left foot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, are you leading with your left foot, or what kind of, Fred, just you know, let us know what kind of grooves you're playing.
He said triplets, so my left foot lines up with the snare. Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay, so like. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So it's okay, now it all makes sense. Yeah, what you have to do, because your left foot is either rushing or it's dragging. That's why it's flamming. All you have to do is slow it down. And this is actually difficult to slow down when you're playing triplets and trying to land a backbeat, right? Yeah. Because of the left foot factor. Slow it down, use a metronome, just go. Do that for a while. Just get your left hand and your left foot locking in together perfectly, and then bump up the tempo and just keep going as, you know, as high as you need to with the tempo factor. But I mean, it's all just a matter of breaking it down, slowing it down. Another thing you can do that's quite basic is just calibrate. I call this calibrating. And that's when you just keep playing singles, try to match your limbs up. So that would sound like. Try to avoid flamming, you know, just keep that going. Because that's kind of calibrating the left side of your body, so that your snare and that your so that your snare locks in with your kick a little bit more accurately. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I think that's pretty much just what it comes down to. Is just very, very basic exercises and breaking them down to a slow tempo.
He says in the chat, that's exactly what I did for 20 minutes straight today, so that's good. Man.
Awesome. Yeah, well, you're going to notice improvements for sure, especially if that's something that you're working on regularly. The other thing that I was going to say is also, sometimes, like, I notice this in my own playing, is that my left foot is not always exactly on the pedal the same way as my right foot. So you might want to try some different positions for your left foot. I find that when you're playing triplets, that the heel up technique works best, especially at a slower tempo. So you're using more leg, you're slowing it down, and that way, I find that your feet aren't really getting ahead of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I like what you said too, calibrate. I like
Calibrate, yeah. Calibrate your left hand and your left foot so they can work together.
Yeah. The time you decide to play your note on your foot, on your left foot, and the time it takes for the beater to hit the pedal, you need to know that space.
Exactly.
Right? And if you...
Same with your technique, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you might even want to try, here's two things to consider. Try a different hand position or a different foot position. Maybe both, maybe one or the other. So definitely try that. And that you can do that with just, here's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how moving hand positions with this basic exercise. Actually, I'll do the triplets, okay? So it's going to go. So as you can see, what I did there, and thanks for going to the overhead cam there. What I did there is I started out in more of a German palms down position, and then I gradually moved it in so it was like a French grip, thumbs up on the stick. And for me, I mean, although I usually do play palms down like this, I found it a little bit more comfortable when I just moved it in a little bit to do the thumbs up for some reason. So that's something to consider.
There you go, Fred. Let's go to the next question from Rod. Rod Diaz says, can he slow it down a bit and show that again, please? This was 18 minutes ago, so
okay.
I'm trying to think which one.
Probably
Rod,
number 10.
Let us know which one you want us to redo. Absolutely.
Yeah,
if there's any other ones,
definitely slow it down.
We can slow anyone down for you. Absolutely. Just let us know. Ron De Laurentiis says, I was watching the movie Terminator.
Nice.
Great movie.
Classic.
It had a great drum fill.
Terminator 1? Terminator 1?
Terminator
Because I
1.
haven't seen that since I was a kid.
I know. I've seen Terminator 2.
Yeah, like a million times.
Millions of times. One of the best sequels ever created in the history of movies.
Yeah.
But Terminator 1.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let me know.
He says it's in every one.
It's maybe part of the theme song or something. Yeah, I can't recall the theme song off the top of my head. Do me a favor, send me a message. Go to my Facebook page, okay? So it's facebook.com/Chris WARUNKI drummer. Send me a message. Let me know exactly where that happens or send me a link to it. I'll let you know what's going on there.
That is so funny.
Maybe it's time for me to watch Terminator again.
No doubt. You've got me intrigued now. Like I'm right now, I'm thinking about all the songs in Terminator, and I'm trying to think which fill was it. And I'm sure it was a hand-to-foot combo or something,
Probably something cool. Some session drummer in New York or LA cut that track, I'm sure. Maybe it's Vinnie Colaiuta. Maybe it's Steve Gadd. Who knows, right? Probably something
curious, Ron.
pretty cool. Yeah, good question.
Yeah, so please update us, and we will do our best.
Yeah, hit me up on Facebook. I'll message you back. I'll look into it. I'll YouTube it.
There you go. Gosh777. He says, hey guys, great lesson.
Thank you.
He says, I have one bass drum and a single bass drum pedal. How should I practice these fills? Should I practice them double stroke or use the hi-hat pedal as a second bass drum? What do you think? Yeah, that's a great question. Both. I mean, you can just do combo fills like you mentioned, just with your hi-hat and your kick. So let's, I'm just going to open the hi-hats a bit more so you can hear it a little bit better. For example, let's just take the, 4 and 2. That'd be like. So I'm playing the same thing. It sounds different though, obviously, because I'm using my hi-hat for my left foot instead of the kick pedal, but you're still getting the same coordination, you're still getting the same, pattern, basically. So you can do that with almost everyone. They're gonna sound a little bit awkward, but technically you could play them that way. You could also play them with one foot, you could easily go like. So, both, again, both ways is the best way. Agreed.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing these for like independence and stuff. When you're playing it musically, obviously it's best to use the bass drum. It just sounds so much better.
It definitely sounds better. Yeah.
But you could use both.
Yeah.
everybody in the chat is telling us that it is the GNR song, You Could Be Mine, which would make sense, but he said it was in every Terminator. And I don't know, was that song in every Terminator?
Yeah, GNR had a song in Terminator. Yeah.
That diggy. I know what Philly's
I think it's this one. I'm going out on a limb here, but if I can recall, it's like, right?
I think
that's the one.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't the beat like something like, it's just a wild guess. Like that's kind of, I vaguely recall that tune.
Man, I just want to go watch Terminator 2 now.
I know.
Jeez. All right, Rhythm 45 says, wasn't listening, but Terminator, most likely You Could Be Mine by GNR. Yeah, we just figured that one out. By process of elimination. Actually, we could still be wrong, so Rod, let us know if you are.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for your questions, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.
Yeah, I didn't hear back from the one member who wanted it slower. So maybe we did it slower.
Yeah, we need to know what number specifically that you're requesting to be played slower. I'm guessing it's number 10 because that's the fastest fill. And that's just groups of 4. So what you can do with that one is instead of playing 32nd notes, play 16th notes.
Right?
So that's like half time.
Let's do that with 90 beats per minute. Yeah. Here we go.
Okay, so I'll play it up to speed and then I'll do a half time, okay? So it'll sound like this. So yeah, half time it, basically. That's pretty simple fill. It's only complicated because it's 30-second notes. It's fast.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Give me one sec. I think one more just came through here.
Yeah, sure. Get your questions in while you can.
Maybe I was wrong.
Okay.
Nope, there it is. It says it sounds like a 5-stroke roll, I think. Okay, let's see.
Well,
no.
It's groups of 4s.
No, he's talking about, this is wrong. This is talking about the Terminator song. 5-stroke roll. Yeah, it wouldn't be the GNR song. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Email or Facebook, get in touch with Chris.
Yeah, hit me up on Facebook, Chris WARUNKI Drummer. Like my page, send me a message.
Perfect.
All right, cool.
All right, buddy. So you're going to do that play along again for us?
Yeah, I'm going to do a play along, trading 4s like at the beginning. This one's going to be a bit different because I'm just improvising combo fills. So, I will do that.
Have fun with this.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, guys.
Give her all you got.
Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yes. All right, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
Always a pleasure.
And see you guys all later, too. Cheers.